And I will be presenting the on the speech called the Civil Rights Movements. Today I stand before you to talk about the Civil Rights Movement in the United States. The Civil Rights Movement was an important time when people fought for justice and equality for African leaders, for African Americans. It happened in the 1950s and 1960s. The civil rights movement started because of certain causes, consequences, and changed society a lot. Racial discrimination and segregation have always been in the United States, and this is the cause of the civil rights movement. African Americans have always been treated unfairly. They didn't have the same right as others, and they face violence and oppression. African Americans have always wanted to be treated the same, have the same opportunities for education, work, and voting. In 1954, a, a very short court called Brown versus Board of Education said that segregating schools based on race was unconstitutional, which drafted the separate, which drafted the separate but equal that was created by Parsley and Ferguson in the 1896. According to the ADL article, civil rights movement, they state that the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s came about out of the need and desire for equality and freedom for African Americans. The consequences of the civil rights movement were serious. The civil rights movement led to important laws like the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights of 1965. These laws made racial discrimination illegal in employment, public places, and voting, and it also gave legal protection to African Americans. The civil rights movement made a lot of people realize the struggles that African American goes through, and it was an inspiration for others who are oppressed to fight for their rights. According to Stephen Zins and Jesse Lael article, the civil rights movement between 1942 and 1968, they states the movement helped part a national crisis that forced intervention by the federal government to overturn segregation laws in certain states, restore voting rights for African Americans. The civil rights movement also had a long impact on society. The civil rights movement made a citizens of the United States to face the history of discrimination and question racial prejudice. It made society fairer and more inclusive for everyone. It inspired future generations to continue the fight for justice and equality, and its legacy can be seen in following movements like the women's rights movement and the LGBTQ rights movements. According to Allen Jensen article, Civil Rights Today, he says that the impact of the civil rights movement has spread throughout the world. I have met with people in India, Dalits, who are the former untouchable caste. When I traveled to India, I met activists who were seeking we shall overcome. In conclusion, the civil rights movement was one of the most important movements in American history. It was an answer to the injustice that African Americans face in their struggle for equality. It is impossible to overstate the cost, consequences, and part of the civil rights movement. It serves as a reminder that there is still work to be done in the battle for justice and equality. and that we should all keep working for the society in which person is treated with respect. Thank you.
Oh, on it.